Hey guys, it's Sarah. If you're new here, welcome to the channel where I tell the stories that still make my heart race every time I think about them. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment so I know you're here, because these moments only feel real when I know you felt them with me. This is the night I turned 18 and stood outside his door longer than I meant to. So get comfy. Seriously, grab the coziest blanket you own, turn the lights down low, maybe make yourself some tea or hot chocolate, because this one is long, soft, and full of every single detail that still makes me smile when I remember them. The party was over, the house was quiet, and I was supposed to be asleep, but I couldn't stop thinking about the way the night ended. Mark had walked me to my parents' car, like he always does, but tonight it felt different. We lingered by the door, longer than usual, saying goodnight 3 separate times, like neither of us wanted to be the first to walk away. His hand brushed mine when he handed me the little wrapped box with the star necklace. His voice was softer when he said happy birthday one last time, just to me. I got home, went through the motions, pajamas, teeth brushed, lights off. But the second my head hit the pillow, every word I didn't say started screaming in my head. I kept replaying every moment from the party, how he waited until everyone was busy before pulling me aside to give me the gift, how he said, "This made me think of you," in that low voice that always makes my stomach flip, how his fingers lingered on mine when I opened the box, how he fastened the clasp for me, and his hand stayed on my neck a second longer than necessary, how his eyes stayed on mine in the mirror while he did it, like he was memorizing the way I looked, wearing something he chose. I knew if I let another sunrise happen without saying it out loud, I would chicken out forever. I would find 1,000 reasons why I should wait one more day, one more month, one more year. So at 12:31 a.m., I pulled his old navy hoodie back on, the one I'd worn all day and never actually gave back, slipped out the back door without turning on any lights, and started walking. 3 blocks. No phone. No plan. Just me, the cold night air stinging my cheeks, and a heart that refused to let the night end the way it did. I got to his house and stopped on the sidewalk. The porch light was on, the same one that's been glowing every single night since I was little. The rest of the house was dark. I walked up the steps, stood in front of the door, raised my hand, and froze. I told myself, knock once. If he doesn't answer, leave. If he does, say it and deal with whatever happens. But my hand hovered. Minutes passed. I counted them, 7 minutes and 23 seconds of pure panic. I almost turned around a dozen times. I rehearsed everything I wanted to say and hated every version. I imagined him opening the door and looking confused. I imagined him opening the door and knowing exactly why I was there. I thought about every time I'd stood on this porch before, the night I was 12 and showed up crying over a ruined volcano project, the night I was 14 and ran here in unicorn pajamas because my parents were fighting, the summer I was 15 and learned how to parallel park his truck right here while he cheered from the curb, the night I was 16 and fell asleep on his couch during a thunderstorm, the night I was 17 and cried into this exact hoodie after my prom date stood me up. Every memory felt like it was pushing me forward and holding me back at the same time. And then the door opened on its own. Mark was standing there in sweatpants and a faded t-shirt, hair messy like he'd been lying on the couch, eyes blinking against the porch light, and then going completely soft when he saw me. "Sarah?" His voice was low and raspy and full of surprise and something gentler I couldn't name yet. He leaned against the door frame, studying me in the dark. Why didn't you knock right away? I swallowed so hard I'm pretty sure the crickets heard it. I just turned 18, I said, the words coming out smaller than I meant. And I stood here for 7 minutes and 23 seconds, trying to be brave enough to knock. I kept telling myself to do it or leave, but I couldn't do either, so I just waited. He didn't laugh. He didn't tell me to go home. He just looked at me for a long moment, eyes searching mine in the dark. You could have texted, he said softly, but there was no push in it, just understanding. I know, I whispered, but texting felt too small, and waiting until morning felt like giving up. The night was so quiet I could hear both of us breathing. He stepped aside, pulling the door wider. Then don't give up, he said, voice barely above a whisper. Come in. I walked inside on legs that felt like jelly, and the second that door clicked shut behind me, the whole house felt different. Warmer, quieter, like it had been holding its breath for 2 years, too. He didn't turn on any extra lights. He just led me to the living room where the single crooked lamp was still glowing low, and we sat on the couch that still had the blanket folded on the armrest from the last time I fell asleep here. I took the deepest breath I'd taken all night. I love you, I said. The words came out clear and steady and true, like they'd been waiting their whole lives to be spoken in this exact room, on this exact couch, under this exact light. I've loved you every single day I wasn't allowed to say it, and I'm 18 now, Mark, and I couldn't let the night end without telling you. The silence that followed was the fullest silence I've ever known. Mark looked at me for the longest moment, eyes shining in the dim light, and then he smiled, small, soft, like sunrise after the longest night. I've loved you longer than I've known how to say, he whispered. I was just waiting for the night you were brave enough to stand outside my door until I opened it. He reached for my face, fingers brushing my cheek like he was making sure I was real. And then he kissed me, slow, gentle, perfect. Like every almost we'd ever had, just turned into forever. So yeah, that's the night I turned 18 and didn't knock right away. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stand outside a door longer than you meant to, and trust that the person inside has been hoping you'd show up all along. If this made your heart do the little fluttery thing, give it a big thumbs up, drop a comment with the moment that got you the most, and if you're new here, subscribe, because there are so many more stories coming. Thank you for being here with me while I tell this one. It still feels like the best kind of magic every single time I think about it. See you in the next one.